But I'm still out there knocking. Like I was knocking last week in solar and roofing and satellite, and like I do it all now. It's weird. Things like that are going to help instigate better consumer trust are more and more important. You've got a lot of DIY competition out there, and it's kind of like being able to build value in the fact that you have somebody servicing, monitoring, that the whole element of cameras, the recording, the clouds, what is the value really there? And last time I did alarms was 2015. And then I've done alarms training, so I spot a week here, a day here, and here and there, right? And it's so interesting, but I'm still out there knocking. Like I was knocking last week in solar and roofing and satellite, and like I do it all now. It's weird, but the customers are just getting more access to more information, so it's easier for them to pull out their phone and look up a Nextdoor app, or look up Facebook, or look up a BBB. Like those things are just becoming more normal, where because the past, like for example, a lot of older people just weren't super tech savvy, didn't have smartphones. It's like if you don't have a smartphone today, it's like wild. Where when I started in 2008, it was kind of like, oh, the younger generation's the more hip. They had a smartphone, but I didn't even have a smartphone, I don't think. So one of the things that I'm seeing is a huge shift in how people research, how people fact check, how people look at pricing and their perspective to, just their perspective to buying and their buying threshold. And so you being able to, as a salesman, guide them through making them feel as if they've done their research and they've validated you as a company or you as a sales individual. It's very important. So for example, we started the DDD sales certification through the nonprofit, the association. And the reason being is because we said, how do we third party validate an in-home sales rep, right? Like one more tool they can have on their tool belt that says, hey, a customer's gonna say, how do I know you're legit? Anybody can go make a website, anybody can go make a badge and has a number on it. And so if we could have some real organization, third party validate a company or a sales individual, that just is another way to increase trust. So it's like a sales certification we just launched last month. And things like that are going to help instigate better consumer trust are more and more important. Also, you've got virtual selling that's a very common thing. Getting on a Zoom, getting on a face-to-face like this, it's like way more common because of COVID, where I've seen a lot of companies being able to set appointments and then just finish it up over Zoom, or hey,
that's cool.
Or they go tee it up and they just do virtual selling. I've seen a lot of people, the customization of smart homes has changed a lot. So taking alarm specific, it's kind of like you've got a lot of DIY competition out there, and it's kind of like being able to build value in the fact that you have somebody servicing, monitoring, that the whole element of, cameras, the recording, the clouds, what is the value really there? And then, what's funny is some people forget. I've watched salespeople almost lose the real heart and soul though of alarm systems, in the sense of there's still an emotional attachment to protecting my home and family. And so some people get so caught up in the gizmos, gadgets, that they take away the emotional selling. And sales is a transfer of emotion, enthusiasm, right? And so, everybody asks me what's your favorite thing to sell? And I still would probably say alarms. The reason being is it has the most fun sell to it. You get to play with people's emotions and pinpoint. You get to kind of say, here's my menu. Let's really figure out what you want to order. Where solar, there's one thing on the menu. Pest control, there's one thing on the menu. It's like we're gonna spray, and roofing, we're gonna change your roof. That's it. Do you want a brown or a light brown shingle or a gray one? It's but it's still your roof. like what's so beautiful about the alarm cell is you have, okay, are they more conscious of like invasions and people coming in when they're asleep? Are they more focused on, I want to know who's at my door through a doorbell camera when I'm out at work? Is it more, I want to have a touch to my kids when they get home from school? Is it more, you know what I mean? There's so many story after story after story after story that you're just taking scenario and story and applying it to customer. You're saying, okay, ooh, you remind me a lot of my grandma, or this lady, Betty Sue, that we helped out, that she was stubborn. She's like, I'm not going to nursing home and I'm going to die in this home. And you're just like, you know what I mean? And you're like, you're one of those. Cool. Let's cater this to you. Where solar, it's like, it is solar power, electricity. Cool. There's not much anything else to it. You know what I mean? So I actually think the alarm cell, in comparison to everything else out there that's selling, it's so much more versatile in the sense of customization, story selling, emotional selling, which to me is the funnest. Like, I'm an emotional type sales guy. I'm not a super like, let's look at the fact and figures. I mean, you know what I mean? I like to connect, and I like to, anyway, so those are, I guess, a few. I mean, there's a lot that we could talk on, but